Alan Kingsman lived in a world made of polished glass and quiet luxury, the kind of world where everything looked perfect but nothing truly was. His mornings always followed the same routine: coffee steaming on the marble counter, slow jazz echoing softly between the walls, and warm sunlight pooling through the giant windows of his multi-million-dollar home. But on this particular morning, something felt different, though he couldn't explain why. Maybe it was the uneasy silence. Maybe it was the faint tension hiding behind every breath. Or maybe it was the fact that he didn't realize his life was seconds away from being ripped apart. He walked out of the bedroom, toweled around his neck, calling out for Amber with the same casual affection he always did. "Honey, wait, just give me a sec. I need to shower," he said, with a small laugh, completely unaware that nothing in his home would ever feel safe again. When he came back out, he noticed at first the odd silence. No footsteps, no humming, no soft giggle from Amber in the kitchen. Just emptiness. He called her name again, louder this time, only to hear a woman respond from behind him. But it wasn't Amber. It was Bella, his assistant, his house helper. The woman who had always stayed a quiet shadow in the background, presence he barely noticed. But today she wasn't in the shadows anymore. Today she was standing in his doorway as if she owned the entire house, and something about her smile made cold chills crawl down Alan's spine. Bella spoke with a voice disturbingly calm. She confessed her feelings for him not in the shy, trembling way one might expect, but confidently, almost proudly. She talked about how long she'd been in love with him, how passionately she'd adored him, and then she said the words that made Alan's blood run cold. She told him she had eliminated her rival. She said it so casually, so effortlessly, as if removing Amber from the picture had been nothing more than a simple household chore. Alan stared at her, heart pounding, mind racing. But before he could speak, Bella simply shrugged and walked away, leaving him standing there in stunned silence. He tried to brush off her behavior as delusion, as some kind of breakdown or misunderstanding. He couldn't imagine the reality that someone living under his roof, someone he trusted, had quietly orchestrated the destruction of his relationship. Later that day, Amber returned home. And the moment she stepped inside, Alan knew something was wrong. Her eyes were swollen, her cheeks flushed, her hands shaking as if she had just escaped a storm. Without warning, she blurted out the words that shattered him completely. "You're cheating on me." Alan froze. He felt the floor drop out beneath him. He tried to explain, tried to convince her that she misunderstood, that he didn't bring other women into their home, that he wasn't capable of betraying her. But Amber didn't want explanations. Her heart was already broken, her trust already gone. And with a voice full of pain, she said she was leaving him. He tried to stop her. He begged her to listen. But Amber walked out the door with trembling shoulders, leaving Alan kneeling on the front steps, calling her name like a desperate man drowning in his own heartbreak. That was the moment Bella struck again. As Alan cried on the pavement, Bella approached like some twisted angel of mercy. He begged her for help, gave her a small velvet box, something personal, something meant for Amber, and asked her to deliver it. It was the only thing he thought could prove his love. Bella took the box with a smile far too soft to be genuine. And Alan, blinded by grief, didn't notice the quiet satisfaction in her eyes. When Bella found Amber sitting alone on a park bench, Amber wasn't angry anymore, just heartbroken and confused. Bella sat beside her, pretending to comfort her, pretending to be the supportive messenger, and then she delivered the final blow. She lied. She told Amber that Alan didn't love her, that he thought of her as nothing more than a distraction, that he wanted her gone for good. Amber's face fell, her last glimmer of hope extinguished on the spot. Bella watched her crumble, watched her spirit collapse, and she enjoyed every second of it. After all, she had finally cleared her path. When Bella returned to the mansion, Alan rushed to her with desperate eyes. "Did she say anything?" he asked, voice breaking. Bella took a breath and lied again. She told him Amber didn't want to see him ever again. She told him to move on. She told him Amber was gone. Alan's heart broke all over again. And that's where Bella stepped into the void. She confessed her love for him openly now, painting herself as the loyal woman who would never hurt him, would never leave him, who would always stand by his side. Alan was too emotionally wrecked to fight it, too lost to see through her manipulation. And in his moment of deepest despair, he let Bella in. But loving a broken man wasn't the dream Bella imagined. The energetic, charming, passionate millionaire she obsessed over was gone, replaced by a hollowed-out ghost of a person. Alan barely spoke, barely ate, barely slept. He moved through life as if someone had drained the color from his soul. Months passed and Bella grew frustrated. She had the man she so desperately wanted, yet she felt lonelier than ever. Everything between them felt forced, mechanical, empty. Every time she tried to pull him close, his eyes drifted away. Every time she tried to spark happiness in him, he drifted back into silence. Every time she tried to fill the role Amber once held, she failed miserably. One evening, she demanded that they go out to dinner. Alan reluctantly agreed. But at the restaurant, something happened that Bella wasn't prepared for. Alan smelled something familiar, something that awakened a memory so deep he couldn't ignore it. And then he heard a voice he knew better than his own heartbeat.
Amber's.
He didn't see her, not yet, but he knew she was close, felt it. Bella tried to distract him, tried to pull him away, but fate isn't so easily manipulated. Moments later, Amber appeared near the entrance, soft, quiet, vulnerable, still wearing the necklace he had sent her, still holding on to the love Bella tried to kill. The moment Alan saw Amber, everything inside him came back to life. He walked toward her slowly, shakily, as if approaching a dream he feared would vanish if he breathed too loud. Amber turned, eyes wide, tears gathering instantly. And in that moment, Bella realized her greatest nightmare had come true. The love she tried to destroy wasn't dead. It had merely been wounded. And now, piece by piece, it was waking up again. Alan and Amber talked quietly at first, then tearfully, then desperately. They understood now what had happened. The lies, the manipulation, the staged betrayal, the shattered messages, they weren't broken, they were sabotaged. And Bella was the saboteur. That night, Bella sat alone in the mansion she once dreamed of ruling. She finally saw the truth she had refused to accept. She had destroyed someone else's happiness in an attempt to build her own. But love founded on manipulation isn't love at all, it's delusion. She wanted a man who never wanted her. She fantasized about a future that was never hers. She lied, twisted, and tore apart to innocent hearts just to get it. But nothing built on pain survives, not relationships, not lies, not dreams. Bella finally realized the truth. Every villain eventually faces the truth that hits harder than karma, harsher than heartbreak. A happiness built on someone else's tears is nothing more than a house of cards. And the moment the truth touches it, it collapses completely. Amber and Alan rebuilt what they lost, stronger this time because they knew what it felt like to almost lose everything. And Bella faded out of their lives like a bad memory. Because obsession isn't love, manipulation isn't love. And forcing someone to stay with you is the quickest way to watch them run farther than you ever imagined.